Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to yet another episode of my FM21 save with Ajax. We are here for the first game of the Champions League group stage, which I will show you immediately what group we are in. Let me see, where were we? Group B, I believe. There we go. Sporting Lisbon, Panathinaikos, and Borussia Dortmund. So our toughest opposition are definitely Dortmund. We should be beating Panathinaikos twice, and it all comes down to whether we can beat Sporting Lisbon or not. I think if we can beat Sporting Lisbon, it's between us and Dortmund for first place. And as I said, Panathinaikos should be beaten quite easily. So before we get into the game against Sporting Lisbon, let's check the results that you missed. So last time out we played PSV and Twente. We had two games in between, a 3-0 win against Willem II and a 1-1 draw against Fortuna Sittard. And I've played these games on extended highlights and just really tried to check what was going wrong in our tactics, because as I said multiple times, we have the players to win every single game by quite a margin. So drawing a game against Fortuna Sittard and only because we got a penalty is just not good enough. So I was really also after the matches really analyzing the matches on what can we do differently. So I'm hoping that works out today against Sporting Lisbon. Of course, now that I've said that, we'll probably lose. Just to rub it in my face that I can't do tactics, but we'll see that in 90 minutes time. We had one new player come into the club, and there he is. His name is Thiago, and this is him, a 19-year-old left back from Brazil. No senior caps for the country yet, but look at his ability, look at these attributes. I mean, he is incredible already, and as you can see, he starts out on the bench for us. He's already played one game, and he got a 7 rating, so he's done okay until now. So let's hope that he can build on that performance and do even better in the future. But this is going to be the team that's going to start for us today. So it's going to be Onana, Frimpong, Bermudez, Gvardiol and Ruggieri, Regeer and Gravenberg, Anthony, Gonzalez, Unuvar and Traoré. So we've got a couple of more young players that we're using. I think that's really promising for the future. That players like Unuvar are starting to slowly but surely overtake players like Asensio, and the same with Regeer being played in favor of Kudus. So that's just a couple of youth players coming through the ranks again, like they should. Unuvar should have come, I think, 1 or 2 seasons earlier, but I always seem to not use our youth players that are originally at the club. I just seem to not use them in the right way, which is why sometimes they won't reach the potential that they have. But hopefully changing that up a little bit this season, using the youth players more in the first team, hopefully that will make sure that they will reach their potential. And we are already down 1-0 after 6.5 minutes. And, that's exactly what I talked about before the match. I shouldn't have said that I was changing my tactics and looking at the analysis of the previous matches and basing my new tactic on that. Because then this stuff happens and we go down by a goal after 6 minutes. So that does mean that we have enough time to get a goal back. And we've already had 2 very good chances. Unuvar messing up both of them. But we are playing okay until now. What an interesting free kick. But it works out. Enrique Gonzalez, his 2nd goal of the season. The new player that we got in for this season. And he is proving his worth already. Scoring a goal in the Champions League group stage, which could be such an important goal. And that is gonna definitely be a penalty. If it's not, then I don't know what the VAR is looking at. But that should be a penalty. And let's wait a second to see what the VAR says. And it is a penalty. Alright, so who's gonna take it? Traoré is gonna take it himself. The man who won the penalty for us. Is he gonna score it? Yes, he is. And inside 20 minutes, we've turned around a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead. So because there have only been 2 games in between, there is not much to tell you guys. Of course, what I just showed you is Thiago, the new player. We have loaned out a lot of youth players, and we have sold another couple of players whose contracts were running out at the end of this season, and they were not going to be good enough, so we wouldn't be renewing their contract, and they would probably leave on a free at the end. So I'm happy that we could sell them right now. By the time that this match is being played, the transfer window is already over, so nothing can happen anymore until January, of course. And you'll never know what is gonna happen in that transfer window. Hopefully, we'll have some more interesting transfers as Traore makes it 3-1 after 30 minutes. And as I said before the match, talking about the group, that the games against Sporting are really what's gonna decide whether we go through to the next round or not. And if we can play every game like this, except for the first 6.5 minutes, then I think we've got a really good chance of making it further into the Champions League than we've done in the previous years. I am happy to say that every single year we've made it out of the group stage, and what was that? An own goal by Bruno Varela. Of course, he played 1 season for Ajax in real life, and that was the season that we actually reached the semi-finals of the Champions League. So maybe he wants to help us a little bit into the next round this season. I don't know what he was doing there. That was a really weird goal. But we're leading 4-1 at the break. So let's hope that we can keep that lead and make it even bigger, so our goal difference is going to work in our favor too. But as I was saying, I believe we've made it out of the group stage every single season, but a lot of years we have been knocked out in the first knockout round, which of course is not what we want, is not what we like to see, as Adam Hlozek makes it 4-2. Of course, we're still leading, but they do get a goal back. So let's get Asensio in for Unuvar, and let's get Thiago in for Ruggeri, and let's keep it like that for now. And maybe if time goes on a little bit more and it stays like this as we almost get our 5th, then we'll make our 3rd substitution, and we have to look at who's not playing that well. But yeah, as I was saying, not much that has happened in between. So the only other thing that I can tell you is that in the last episode you saw us offer Gianluigi Buffon a contract to become a coach at the club, and I am happy to tell you guys that he has accepted that contract offer. So he is now our goalkeeping coach. So another big footballing name coming into the club, into the backroom staff. I am working on some more, but of course, at some point, all our spots are going to be filled up, and we're going to have to make decisions on who is playing better than the others, and not necessarily whose name is bigger, as Traore should have put that away. I think there was a pretty big chance, I would say, but he doesn't put it away. It's still 4-2 with 20 minutes to go, so still a dangerous lead, only 2 goals. As AZ are losing 3-0 against Man United. That is the only 2 Dutch clubs that are in this competition right now. So it's really down to us or AZ to make it through. AZ are in a group with Man United, Juventus and Borussia Mönchengladbach. So they've got a really tough draw. And losing that first game 3-0 at home, I think they will have to hope for a 3rd place so they can go to the Europa League. I don't think they would make it out of their group, especially with Juventus having won it 2 years ago, and Man United also being very good, as Ryan Gravenberch scores his first goal of the season to make it 5-2. That's going to be the game done, as AZ do get 1 goal back, but that is not going to matter for this game for them anymore. And Traore gets his hat-trick, 6-2 in the end. What a game. I think a 6-2 might be a little bit exaggerated result, but I'm not going to complain at all. I'm very happy. So, you know what? Let's just get out of this match, and you will see what the next match is going to be. Maybe you've already seen it when I showed you guys the schedule, but it is Feyenoord, and it is only 2 days in between, so we're going to have to rest a lot and not train at all. So I'm going to see you guys for that game in just a second. And here we are for the game against Feyenoord, and I've got some pretty bad news to tell you guys. Right after the game against Sporting, I was gonna check the analysis again, and I forgot to save it, and the game got frozen at generating match report. So we lost that 6-2. I did replay it. We didn't get a 6-2. We got a 3-2 win this time. So the most important thing is that we did get the 3 points. It was again a good performance. We really dominated them in terms of possession and shots and XG. But this time we just didn't get more goals. But again, as I said, we have the 3 points. That's the most important thing. So now let's move on to Feyenoord. This is going to be the starting 11. Onana, Rensch, Bermudez, Gvardiol, Ruggeri. Thiago is going to try a match out at center mid. Together with Regeer, Anthony, Kudus, Asensio, and Traoré. So another bad thing that had happened in that last game against Sporting that we had to replay was that Unuvar got injured for, I believe it was 3 to 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was. So he can't play for another month, but we still have a very, very capable team of beating Feyenoord. So let's just get straight into it and let's pick up the 3 points. That's pretty much all we want to do. So let's go out there and do that. As the team talk is saying, I think we are the favorites. According to the odds, we are the favorites. And also against Sporting, the assistant manager, so Cristiano Ronaldo, suggested us to play positive, and against Feyenoord he even suggested us to play attacking. So that is how much better we should be than them. And also look at how narrow they are playing. That should really work in our favor. By the way, I have listened to Ronaldo. I am playing on attacking. Should be good, even though they do have the first big chance right there. But look at how narrow they are playing. The thing that I talked about before the last match was changing the tactics. So what I noticed in that match against Fortuna Sittard is that we just weren't getting enough clear-cut chances. So we had one clear-cut chance in the entire match, and that was that penalty that we scored. Other than that, we didn't have anything. And I noticed that we were playing very narrow too. So what I changed is to put the instructions to play wider, not the furthest you can choose, but not this one, not extremely wide, but just wide, and focus the play down the wings. Because in the second half against Fortuna, I switched up the tactic to a 4-4-2, where we did play via the wings, and that seemed to work a little bit better. Still didn't score more goals, but we did get more chances, and it looked like we were just more unpredictable than we were in the first half, where we were just playing everything down the middle. So that is what it changed, and it seemed to work in the match against Fortuna. It seemed to work against Sporting Lisbon. It doesn't quite seem to work here today against Feyenoord, though. We are going to make a few subs because both of our center mids are on a yellow, and we don't like that. And also, Traoré is not performing at all, so let's get Dolberg on for him. And let's continue the match. There are 20 minutes left. I just shouted at them already. I'm not going to shout again. So, as you can see, the assistant is telling us to go even more attacking right here. I'm going to wait with that until after this highlight, because maybe we score this and then that won't be necessary. Rensch here with the ball. Looks like he lost it, but he didn't in the end. But we are going to go more attacking. Actually, I haven't ever had a assistant that would tell me to go even more attacking. So I'm very happy with the assistant we have now. I mean, it is Cristiano Ronaldo. He should know a thing or two about football. So let's see if his comments work and we can get the win here in injury time, because it is still 0-0. It has been an extremely boring game and Dolberg almost gets his goal, but it is still 0-0, and there is going to be the end of the game. That's the final whistle gone. Weren't good enough at all. So we did seem to dominate again. We had a lot more chances than they did. If we take a look at the match report, we had 13 shots against their 2 shots, but still it wasn't enough. And that was Dolberg's 125th league appearance, alright, but that wasn't enough because we didn't get a goal from it. So maybe we have to work on chance conversion in training. Maybe that is something that would help us. But for now, only 1 point against Feyenoord. That leaves us in 4th place in the league. Feyenoord are first, PSV second, AZ third. Sparta actually 5th, but Feyenoord are already 5 points ahead of us. This were actually the first points that they dropped. So for next episode, as I said, we should be beating Panathinaikos quite easily both times. So what we're going to do is have the away game against Borussia Dortmund and the home game against newly promoted side Almere City. Hopefully 2 very good games. For now, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.